In the busy city of New York, there lived a boy named Aiden. He came from a prominent family, and his family owned a magnificent mansion. The Golden Gate and brilliant decorations at the entrance were eye-catching, and the garden was filled with green trees, resembling a secluded paradise. However, despite having all of this, Aiden often felt a deep emptiness inside. He felt that everything he had didn't seem enough. One morning, Aiden stood on the balcony of his home, gazing at the small park in the distance. It was not as vast as his garden, but it was filled with the laughter of children. Although their clothes were torn, their shoes worn out, and some of the children appeared somewhat tired and hungry, their laughter was incredibly joyful, as if they possessed all the wealth in the world. Aiden curiously walked over and asked a little question. Aiden asked a little girl who was skipping rope, "Why don't you have toys? Your clothes and food look a bit shabby." The girl smiled and innocently replied, "We don't have money to buy toys, and we don't have much food. But we have each other, and that's enough to make us happy." Aiden's heart was instantly moved. He had never seen such resilience and optimism in anyone. Despite their poverty, they could be so happy. That night, Aiden tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. He realized that he had so much wealth, while these children had so little. Perhaps he could do something to fill that emptiness inside. He secretly decided that he would make a change the next day. The following day, Aiden approached his father and looked him in the eyes with determination. "Dad, I want to use some of my pocket money to help the children in the neighborhood. I want to buy them some toys and food and build a small school for them." His father paused for a moment, then smiled and nodded. "That's a noble decision, son. You're doing a great thing." So, Aiden began taking action. He bought large amounts of food, clothing, and toys, and even rented a small house for the children to use as a free school. He saw the children happily receiving new toys, their faces lighting up with radiant smiles. That sense of fulfillment was something he had never experienced before. The children's lives began to change, and they gained opportunities for learning and growth. But Aiden didn't stop there. His generosity and love inspired those around him, and more people started getting involved. Some donated books, others provided food, and some even volunteered. Aiden's story quickly spread throughout the city, and people began to admire his kindness and eagerly came to support him. One day, an elderly man approached Aiden and kindly said, "Child, kindness is like a seed. Once you plant it, it will eventually bear fruit." The man's name was Gray, a low-key philanthropist. He continued, "You can make this love spread even further." With Gray's guidance, Aiden established his own charity foundation and expanded the scope of his help. He helped the homeless, built more schools and hospitals, and sponsored children from poor areas to attend school. His kind deeds gradually spread beyond the city, warming society as a whole. Aiden's life was no longer solely focused on wealth. Aiden was filled with love and friendship, and he felt incredibly fulfilled and content. Many years later, Aiden stood in his family's spacious garden, reflecting on the path he had walked. His heart was full of gratitude and happiness. He no longer pursued external material wealth, for he knew that true wealth lies in giving and sharing. His heart had been filled with love and gratitude, and the emptiness he once felt never appeared again. Aiden was no longer the richest child in New York, but he was undoubtedly the one with the biggest heart. Aiden was no longer the richest child in New York, but he was undoubtedly the one with the biggest heart. But he was undoubtedly the one with the biggest heart. He proved through his actions a profound lesson. By helping others, our lives become richer and more complete. Kindness not only changes the destiny of others, but also allows us to experience true happiness and fulfillment. If you wish to use English short stories to learn English, I recommend you read this set of books. It contains numerous stories and essays, which should assist you in learning more effectively. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon for more story. Thank you. See you next video.